Oh, hello. We are a couple minutes late today because we got talking about gaming and life and all kinds of stuff, which is really what this is about. This is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin, but the game that we play is always only ever an excuse to be nice to each other and be pleasant to each other and be there for each other. And that is a wonderful reminder before we start. Now we're going to start. These amazing people have agreed to join here with me today to play this wonderful game, and that makes me very, very happy because there's a bajillion things any of them could be doing right now, including in two cases sleeping like normal people in their time zones, that they could be doing, but they're not. They're here doing this with us, and that makes me happy beyond my ability to put into words. And if I don't mind tooting my own horn, that's a pretty considerable ability. But let's meet these people because these people are what makes it special. Let's start with this time, Deku Lily. Tell us about yourself.
Hello, I'm Deku Lily. Uh, Not much to me, really. I just hang around in the Dirty 20 Gaming Discord and live my life, surrounded by cross stitch projects, wanting to learn how to knit and get back to crochet, but oh wait, there's books to read. Oh no,
I
I think
love it.
y'all get the idea.
Yes, another multivalent nerd, a nerd of many things. So thank you, and I did want to point out you could say you tried to say you don't do much. You have watched more Dirty 20 content than any other human being I know. So take that for what it's worth. And thank you for every second of it. But thank you so much for joining us tonight. And for only the second time, somehow, in all these years, only the second time we managed to get you on to the game.
Mainly schedule conflicts.
Yes. Well, we're going to fix those because I want you in more games because I love the characters you play. Uh,
Thank you.
they think before they act, and that is from a GM point of view. That's so lovely. Uh, just a negative segue then. Not saying the characters that don't think before they act are a problem, but playing one of those for us this evening. Siosa, uh, how are you doing? What are you up to? What else do you do when you're not here?
I'm doing great. I work a little too hard when I'm not here. Just got off a flight after like 2 hours of sleep. So if I'm a little spacey tonight, then that's why. So um, I am playing Anchors Away, our resident paladin automaton pirate.
Yep.
um, and I also on Sundays run Shadow of the Nocturne, which is a 7C Let's Play, which is I think heading into its 17th episode or 18th episode this
18th, I
weekend.
think. Yeah. Yep.
So
And you're getting the ultimate compliments for that, which is a Discord chat that won't shut up about the game for at least 3 days after it's done. So well done on that. That is like I
thank you,
said, that's a
appreciate that.
standing ovation from your players, and it doesn't get any better than that. So congratulations. And if anybody that's watching likes the darkness, there are very few doing it better. Than that Sunday crew, and with you running them around that dark, nasty little town.
Yeah, there was some hope in the last game. They
There
killed
was, yeah,
a
and
giant monster, and now they have a tree to show for
yes,
it.
and only about half of the nation after them for various things that they've done in the last couple of days.
I mean, if you're not pissing off the Inquisition, you're doing things wrong, right?
That's correct. Fair enough. Let's move on to someone who is here at least one other night a week, and it gives us a chance to talk about our other streamed game, Brilchan.
Hello, everybody. My name is Carol. My nick is Brilchan. And today I will be playing Ben Drown, the Devil Man, who is trying to find a new family, find some vengeance, and find a new way of life. Maybe before vengeance, maybe after vengeance. That's today. That's right now. Thank you for finding us and watching this show. The other game I play is Carnage Heights. It's on Friday. I'm sorry, I'm not good with
Tuesday.
English word days of the week, dyslexia. is coming, but it's a cyberpunk red game, and I play Kraken, are Slappy Dionysus, a hacker and a communist who is trying to do good things, but some drugs are way too tempting for him. But he's trying his best.
Yep.
And
And now all his friends are
today-
starting to be addicted, and he's starting to look like the good guy. So gotta love a
Yes.
character arc.
Today, in my wheelchair, I have a belt, and my belt is fastened, and I'm ready to roll, and I cannot wait to see the amazing Anchor being a badass and fighting demons to his last
Well, we got
golemic scale.
we
And
got
it will be
one more
amazing, and
introduction to
I'm
do
very,
before
very
that.
pumped for other players and to role play with all my friends here. That's all
Thank
from
you.
me. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for joining us. And I saved this person for last because, first of all, they do content creation. Janet, thank you for joining us. And I'm just about to hit the button to put up the links
Thank you.
for your Twitch and your YouTube channels. Tell us a little bit about that before we talk about your new project.
I'm streaming games conference and making videos about games and movies. And I plan to stream The Sims soon.
Nice. Well, that's your online presence, but you did a special thing. You did a thing that I like. We were talking about earlier. I think every gamer in the world has tried to do this to create their own game, and yours is going to get premiered tomorrow night on stream, same time as this. So 24 hours from right now, we are going to be playing your Disney-themed RPG live on stream for the very first time. How does that make you feel?
Good and kinda happy
Mm-hmm.
that I made it finally after
did.
years of thinking.
You did, and it shows. It is a polished work indeed. So, normally we haven't recently had stuff on Saturdays, so tune in. I'm going to make some notes tomorrow in the Discord as well because it's going to be a lot of fun. And that means that I am going to be forced to write a Disney movie in my head. Imagine me writing a Disney. It's. I love a good stretch, so we'll see how well I do tomorrow. But until
Hey,
then,
didn't you do that for Sherwood already? You
kind
did
of.
it.
Yeah, I kind of did. But that one was a comedy too. This one is much more serious. So we'll see. We'll see how I do.
And it's not too childish.
Not a chance. That's the thing. Another thing I have to avoid. I should mention this. Of course, Janet, you're going to be playing in the game. I'm going to be running it. Our other players are all Disney fans, to put it mildly. And I am fully expecting to be corrected multiple times on my lore tomorrow night. And I will take it in the best of offerings. I know you're trying to help me. I'm ignorant of the facts that I'm trying to run the game for you, so I'm sure you're all going to help me get it right. So,
It's like I corrected you with God.
yep. And my favorite moment from the playtest was when I said that a sickly purple light shone out the windows, and 3 of you corrected me immediately and said, no, bad people in Disney should green light out the window. And so now I know. It's sickly green light, and I did not even realize that was a thing. So
Purple is for queens.
see, so I did have that right, but I had that evil. Oh,
Yeah.
now I realize there's a tier thing that evil light outdoes like queen light because she's also a queen, but she's also evil. So yeah, gotcha. All right.
And hero blue.
Yep, that bright shining actinic blue light. Oh, I got so much to learn. 24 hours to do it, and I'm going to look like such a fool tomorrow, but I'm going to have so much fun
No,
doing
we
it.
love you. You will
Oh,
be
don't
amazing.
It's okay. I like that. That means I'm
And
learning.
don't forget,
Yeah.
and don't forget stabbing.
Yes. Oh, yes. Lots of everybody gets stabbed. I forgot. I was trying to be all nice and doing in our playtest forgetting that every decent Disney movie has at least one dramatic death scene. So I know so little, and I will learn so much. But let's go back to something I do know a little bit more about, which is this game tonight. I'm going to do a slight summary this time because I usually don't, and nobody usually misses it. But I'm going to do a slight summary this time because we had some major events. Last week started with the group of you finally catching up to the demons, the last two demons left, these intelligent demon zombies that you're finding out more and more about. You sort of caught them off guard. A group of locals distracted them. They dropped their Steve, their victim, and went tearing off after the farmers in the field, who are now doing the Timon and Pumbaa thing, sort of getting them to run around the field. At that moment, Anchor turned to you, and knowing that you can summon him simply by saying his name, right? Is that how that works?
It's a scream of distress, basically. Like if
so if you yell for help, Anchor will come. And having pointed that out, he leapt off the boat and walked, because that's how he gets. He sinks and he doesn't have to breathe, so he walks to shore, up onto shore, and then went herring off after the two demons who were chasing the farmers. The rest of you, under the tutelage of Captain Cassandra, who took command of the ship with like you were made for it. It was absolutely wonderful to watch. Took the ship to the small village.
Correction. Anchor only went after one demon because the second one somehow hid from everybody else.
Right.
And then it ambushed
It
Yes.
was under the ground.
Vanessa and
Yes.
Tara
Thank you.
as Tara sort of hopped over the side to go get Steve.
Yes. Right. Yes. Thank
And
you.
And also Ben went after the thing
The
as
demon.
a transformed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
And Vanessa was
Tar
a
Eagle.
badass. She shoot
And-
him a bunch of
Yeah.
times like our Percy. And Ben turned into a horrible demonic eagle and eat a bunch of the demon, and he
And developed a
liked
taste
that
for
meat
demon
way too
flesh.
much.
Yes.
and I jump out with boat to save Tara
Yeah.
because she jump and swim.
Yes. Yeah. You guys.
Yes.
That's right. And you eventually all managed to get to the town, where they tried to play it off as a big party for you before finally admitting that it was just a harvest party, but it was kind of for you guys now for bringing home Tara and Steve.
We earned an invitation.
You did. You absolutely did. And
And I
Mhm.
investigation a zombie.
yep. You went and studied the zombie ooze and figured out that you have a drum that you can use to control the regular shufflers, the shuffling zombies, the slow ones. Cassandra did many wheelings and dealings with the people, and Ben met the town genius, or the village genius, just because, yeah, it's definitely not a frog. But yes, he met the village genius, who gave him some information about the world that you're in. But while all that,
Uncle come and pass out
yep,
in middle
yep,
of
right in the
part of
middle of
the-
that, Anchor re-entered
And
our
now
story.
we will see why. And it
Precisely.
was
Now we got to cut to back up in time a little bit to the first bit of that, where Anchor leapt off the boat, waded to shore, and headed off across a field of wheat, mostly reaped and stooped, piled up with the
Oh, okay.
yeah, and the little pyramids. I think it's a stoop.
Baled.
I think it's one of those.
Baled?
Baled is when you put it in the actual thing,
Oh,
but
yeah.
when you just stand it up in a little pyramid to dry.
Stones.
Either way, that is all over the field, those little piles. And this demon zombie stomping off across the field with its back to you, and four farmers beyond it, all trying to distract him.
So this is like not actually his like first action, but it's like just because I had this sort of picture in my head of like, he's like in that moment where he's like about to get ready for battle, kind of psyching himself up.
Yeah.
And then there's like a little like on his cheek
Yeah,
from
sure.
like the woodpecker, and he's like, "Hi, yes, I love you. I miss you too. You gotta go. You can't be here right now."
Yeah.
And then like after like Voltaire kind of like takes back off, he's like focuses back again on the moment. He sees the people in danger. He has like a length of chain with the anchor that's like wrapped around his arm at the moment.
Yes. Yeah.
And he's got the sickle in his other hand, but it doesn't sort of like immediately swing. Instead, what he does is he sort of he's like turning and aligning himself until he's sure which way is north.
Yep.
And he takes the sickle and he cracks it across the anchor.
Yeah.
And then he does it again, and there's like this kind of like ting 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 that gets increasingly like it's rhythmic and it's percussive, and he's kind of beginning to feel like the anchor as it like the atoms within it like
Yes.
align.
Yep.
As he's magnetizing it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're going to require a roll for me to do that, but he's also hoping it's going to draw the attention of the creature.
Yeah.
But even when it does, he just keeps right on doing it. He knows that they're drawn to noise,
Yes.
so like there's no
Yep.
downside for him.
Yep. And it does the on about the third clang, it does that traditional over the shoulder turn look, and then rotates the body underneath it after it makes eye contact with you, and it just kind of goes into a crouch, like it's waiting for you.
And anchor kind of like he drops the anchor down and kind of catches the chain,
Yeah.
and then he spins it.
Yeah.
And it's a full just like across the field.
Absolutely. Yep.
Trusting like kind of what he's seen of like the magnetism and his own strength and like accuracy of the moment to guide it straight into the thing.
Absolutely.
After which he has a large iron hook in something, and then it's playtime.
So wow. Okay. You hurl that. That's got to be getting to a scrap, kind of. Getting to a scrap isn't perfect for range attacks, but we'll go with it. So yeah, give me a roll plus blood. That was your intent, right? To use your power to hurl this thing.
So 6, and I'm +2, so that will be in the 7 and 8 range.
8. Yeah. Okay.
So-
So you can pick up to 2 of these things, and for each one of them, they get to respond. So your choices are: you strike them and deal harm, you wrestle something away from them, you force them into a precarious position, or you frighten or intimidate them.
I would like to force them into a precarious position of you are now hooked on my anchor.
Yep,
You're not
yep.
getting away.
Yep. They've been anchored. Okay. You can choose 2, so they would get to respond to that, but do you also want to do harm by
Yeah,
hitting them? Yeah, okay.
yeah. He wasn't gentle about it.
Yeah, no problem at all. So yeah, you fire the anchor at them and it hits them, and you can see the whole bone structure of this part of them just collapses under the impact. It's it's a quarter of a ton of anchor, right? Hurled at speed with intent, and it's magnetic, which you figured out has an effect. And it's just that whole part just folds in. The anchor hooks into the inside of the rib cage, like it's that shattered here. But then you see the skin sort of just puff back up to its regular shape, but you can see it sort of pulsing. It's goo in there. It's not bone structure anymore. So it's still functional, but it has and you do 2 harm, correct?
I do.
Okay.
It's 2 harm close. So if you want to say that in this situation I'm not close because he specifically hurled it.
It's
then
the
I
same. Like, yeah. This the one thing I have noticed with this is the fighting mechanic is very much melee oriented. There's not really. It's a little weird at range, but in this case, yeah, you smash into it. It does 2 points of damage, and then it reaches out and grabs the chain, like is its response to that, and then goes to move and realize that it's stuck. Like it doesn't come out. And then he looks up at you, and you see him almost like drawing a breath. You see him open his mouth, and the teeth are all there, and he sticks his tongue out between his teeth, and it's all puffy and green and pulsating slightly.
Um,
And because you did not go a 10 plus, you take just from him hauling on that makes no sense that you would take damage in this case. So no, never mind.
we can store it for the next hit.
Well,
because I'm sure he's going to be.
He's going to try. Yeah, I mean, you're going to close. He's going to try and close. So, but the one other thing, when it hits him, that initial impact, you see sort of almost like an electric shock pass through him for a moment. May or may not have something to do with the magnetic nature of the anchor.
He's fairly sure Cassandra will be interested in that.
Yeah. So
for now, he's just like, he's here to field test theories.
Yeah. So that is your turn and his responses. So now it's his turn, and what he does is you've not stuck him to the ground, but he starts reeling in the chain and walking towards you. He's not trying to pull you. It's more like he's taking up the slack as he walks towards you up the chain. And he's still making eye contact, and he's clearly about to bite down on his own tongue.
If it's back to my action, then at that point,
yeah.
Then like kind of right as the bite is about to happen is when Anchor kind of suddenly like reverses his weight, and he's putting both hands on the chain, and he's using it to try to fully hurl it over his shoulder and use it like the pendulum and slam it down on like the far side.
Okay. Yeah.
Like fully like face first into like one of the haystacks.
Yeah. Give me a give me another getting into a scrap roll. We're basically, you're not really getting into a scrap. You're more just using blood, just using your physical thump. Wow, you're rolling crap tonight. And you're +2, so that's still only got you to 6, right?
6.
Oh, wow.
I think he's like, oh, great. Now I have a zombie dog thing over me. That's not good.
Yeah, that was my temptation, is like you didn't have quite enough momentum, but that's a little too comical. My thought is I like this even better. You spin it around. Yeah, puny demon, exactly. And that's what you're expecting, except when it hits the ground, it just sort of lands in hero 3-point pose with your anchor still stuck in its chest. And in this instance, it lands right beside you, and now we can do this because you failed. As it comes down, it just rakes its claws down the side of you, and you take 1 damage.
I think he's gonna. Now my armor regenerated with the overnight rest, right?
Yes. Yep.
So I'm gonna burn it at that point because I think the difference between harm and armor is.
Yep. So yeah, he rips big chunks of your armor off, rendering it useless for later, right? That's how armor works in this, right? It gets used once.
Yeah, it's
twice.
like it doesn't. Well, I have 2 points, so I get each one I get to shed to counter a point of damage.
Right.
And presumably any effect that would go along with it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so he's just kind of like, oh, yep, this is gonna take some practice. Just.
And now it's standing right in front of you, and it bites down on its tongue. And it just explodes demonic ooze all over you. I think I need to stand your ground.
Okay. What is that?
Which is just a flat roll, no roll blank.
Okay.
You can choose to use inspiration. If you do, tell me who you think about and why, and take +1. If you spend the bond with them, you can add an extra +1. And you're not facing your vice. So.
I think at this point he's just gonna try to go for it. It's still fairly early, so
yeah.
And
there's
9.
a better roll, so at least it's a 9. So you mark a trouble or give in to the compel, your choice.
Mine is pissed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And that's part of the reason he's happy to throw himself into these kind of situations. My pissed goes away if I break something, and that something is in front of him.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so yeah, this stuff hits your face, and you try and sort of, what you feel is your rage sort of driven to 12. Like it's trying to make you almost too angry to fight. The problem is it just made you mad enough to fight. It's like, you don't understand. I'm always angry, right? It's one of those. He's trying to make you mad, but you're already there. So yes, you did. You do resist. Oh no, yeah, on a 7 to 9, you do. So you resisted the overwhelming urge to rage and just maintained your normal, regular, functional rage.
We just ratcheted it up a little.
Yeah. And there's a moment where he's sitting there with his exploded tongue all over his face, and he just sort of looks at you like it didn't work. And now it's your turn again.
And that's like the moment where Anger's fist like goes down its throat and grabs its tongue and fully like, arm inside of its mouth. And he grabs the neck with the offhand. He's kind of just got the anchor still there because it's like wrapped around his arm.
Oh yeah.
And he's starting to like pull and separate.
He's starting to weigh the anchor. Yeah. While punching him in the face. I love that.
Oh no, it's not a punch in the face. He's like going to grab his fist down the throat to grab the tongue.
Yeah. Like an accordion in reverse. Yes, give me a. That's definitely getting into a scrap. Now we're playing.
So that's a 7, and a +2, so 9 again.
9.
So I'm gonna do more damage.
Okay.
And I want to scare it now.
Okay. Well, it takes the damage. To me that's the hand down the throat thing. And then you've got it by both ends, and you're like the wrestler just before he pops your arm out. You just kind of look at him and go, "Do you tap?" I didn't think so. And then, as you do that snap, you hear it again. The bones break, joints pop, ligaments give up, muscles tear off of bones, and then this green ooze sort of fills up the space. So it's taken more damage. And it's now, it's kind of, if you could ever feel sad for a demon, this would be the moment, the demon zombie. It's kind of trying to hide from you behind your anchor, like trying to use your anchor as a way to block it. Hey, Nate, thank you. Appreciate that. But yeah, it is now it's definitely trying to get away, but it can't. You've got it on a chain and an anchor, right? It is anchored. We have that condition applied to it from earlier. And it tries to run and it can't. So it's doing that sort of bear hiding behind a thin tree thing, trying to at least keep you from thumping it again. But that is... So it is terrified of you, so because of that, it's not going to attack. It's just, it uses its turn to try and get away, which brings us back to you. Just before you start, your eyes are attracted by movement just above it, because you've been fixated on this fight. The farmers are coming towards you with, like, pitchforks out. Sort of, like, you're fighting the bad thing, but you are clearly not a people.
And maybe a little bit more frightening than it right now.
So yeah, they're doing the thing where they got the pitchforks out, but they're circling the two of you, sort of trying to get their backs to the village, where they clearly hoping they don't have to make a stand against you. Your
and
turn.
he so is it my action again with it having kind of just shying this?
Yeah,
this
we're
turn?
between anchored and frightened as its two conditions. I had it basically try and get away, but it can't. So
at this point, I've done 4 harm to it. Does it have like 6 or 8, or do you have an idea like kind of how?
I've got it above table. It was 8. You got it down to 4.
Okay. Cool.
So you could this is something I missed last week when I was describing this. Those green areas that are recovered, they're not regenerated. They're not regaining points. It's just this magic zombie fluid keeping them alive. So they're going to be able to function until they get killed, presumably.
I have
Like
question.
zombie wood glue.
This goose is doing something to living people. Like if Vanessa touch it hurt her.
We're gonna find it. In the
You're gonna-
future,
yeah.
but now
Yeah.
let's keep on
Actually,
in the fight.
actually, it's a fair question because you investigated the goo last week. It's extremely. You didn't have to taste it or anything, but when you sniffed it, you could tell it's extremely acidic. It would, at the very least, burn a normal human. But Ben is, amongst other things, like you, fireproof, and I took that to mean acid proof as well because he's made out of wood and steel. So he might smoke a little bit, but he's yeah, yeah. So yeah, fair question. It would you would know if this if you ever see this. Actually, you saw the goop too, so yeah, you would know if that gets on anybody, it's going to burn their skin real bad.
So a question then, because Anchor has like, he has like copper and everything kind of
Yeah.
between um his like driftwood parts. Does that mean that some of like the kind of green corrosion is actually coming off as the stuff touches it?
I
Like, is
actually
it
yeah,
polishing him in a way?
I was just thinking of a way to sort of track time exposure to this, and yeah, that works. You look down in this split second, and you see, yeah, the copper starting to corrode. Some of the driftwood bits are starting to sort of look like archaeological evidence, shrinking up over time as it's exposed to the air. So yeah, it's having an effect, but it's not. It hasn't frozen you in your tracks and caused you to screech and howl in pain like they're clearly used to.
Um, and so he's still pissed at this point because he hasn't actually broken anything yet.
Yeah.
And he does kind of look up at the villagers, and he has at the moment, like, he bites back the desire to talk because he kind of knows, like, the angrier he is when he addresses people, the more kind of naturally terrified they tend to be.
Yes. Yeah.
And like the best way he can demonstrate, like, hey, I'm a friend, is like to really just beat up this thing that's
Yep. Oh
going
yeah.
after them.
Absolutely.
So he is kind of, I think he's picking up the creature again, just like its full weight, and like slamming it down again. He's just trying to do like massive trauma across it. There's already an anchor in it, so like digging that around a bit isn't going to hurt anything.
Yeah.
And so it's just sort of like a full WWE style like body slam against the ground.
Oh yeah. You see, he said WWE, as he said, like, he's behind the anchor, and you come in and just sort of hit the anchor and just, just yeah, one of those. The whole thing goes, the whole ground goes whoomph. So yeah, give me the scrap. Get us into.
I did another roll, got another 7, so another 9.
9, yeah. So 2 more points of damage, I presume.
Yep.
So you can do 2 points twice and kill him. Because you can do 2 things, right?
Yeah, so I'm good with that. I didn't know I could do the same one twice. So so this will also be my third point of damage. So both of my armor points would have been burned off because I assume he's been doing damage in kind to me.
Yeah.
Right. So
fair.
Yeah, so I'm down a harm and got both points of armor shredded.
Yeah.
But so I think there's like a moment where he kind of like, he has the creature like fully overhead.
Yeah.
And is it okay if I do like a little bit of like a flashback?
Oh yes, please do. Yeah.
So there's this moment where he's just, what he remembers is this like child on a sofa. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a TV playing in the background, and in actual like wrestling matches, like on screen, and he can, hear somebody like, he's climbing the turnstiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And like there's just like a moment's pause, and I imagine like the things like claw kind of rakes across his face, and it's like what brings him back into the moment.
Yeah.
But like for a moment he can like remember like a living room and having flesh and blood and being small, and like a city outside of the windows, and then he's back in the moment, and the anger is there, and the people are there, and all of those instincts he's been honing for however long he's been alive come back, and he just like slams the thing down, and there's like cracks of bone that run like along the length of its spine. And like the anger just sort of like fades from his eyes, like, which is for him like that there was like literally like lightning kind of crackling across the copper that like goes back away.
Yep. And there's this impact, this dull meaty thud. I love that phrase. Just that as that body hits the ground at speed, and it's kind of jelly inside, and places of it pop, and some of it splashes up on top of you. One more harm from that, the actual acid eating on you this time. And you can feel that your inside is sort of when it blew like that, it's like you're in a mist, and you can feel like water getting inside your rainwear, so to speak, right? You can feel it getting in, and you know that that's going to need some treatment, or it's going to start eating you from the inside out. You look up to see the four farmers standing in front of you, and beyond them, it's like you see smoke and trees. There's a forest back there, and a fairly large chunk of it is on fire. And you haven't been able to tell because the wind's been blowing the other way, but for as soon as you stand up from this, you can see it. And coming out of the forest, this side of the forest towards you, is a whole horde of zombies. Just shufflers with one or two bolters out in front, sort of darting out in front like skirmishers. The four farmers sort of, at least one of them, they all go to look, and a couple of them like, you watch him, and the two that look, you just hear, oh shit.
And Anchor kind of like, he's like, get to safety, and the sickle comes out again, and there's again that like ting ting as he starts trying to like going across the flank, like drawing the army in his direction away from wherever it is that they were endangering.
Absolutely,
Like the fact that there's an army of them, the fact that there's like, you know, the fast and dangerous ones. You know, he's just sort of charging up like that magnetism, and then there's like another like
trying to get ready.
Up.
As you move towards them, I'm gonna let I'm gonna give you some information and let you decide whether you want to keep doing what you're doing. There's a lot, like over 100. This is a full blown horde. This is probably all the ones that were in that forest. They're fleeing from the fire, so there's an element of self preservation about it somewhere. But they're not running to anywhere. They're running from, and the vector they're on is close to, but not into the village.
I think the immediate concern is the four farmers that were, you know, like brave enough to like, you know, he doesn't really feel the need to fight a full 100 of these, but he does want to make sure that they're going to be safely out of any kind of danger before he starts to move again.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so he's not like, he's backing up as he does it. You know what I'm saying? He's using the noise.
The rear
like,
guard.
You know, in the moment like one of them kind of like really locks in on him is the moment that he like throws and like hits him with the anchor and yanks them away, and you know, gets more attention, and is trying to like deal with them like one at a time, whittle the numbers down. And then once he's kind of clear that they've like gotten clean away from it, that's when he's gonna like make his own plans to escape. Perfect.
So they head back to the village. You turn your back and start sort of rear guard action, giving up as little ground as possible. You rightly figured out you cannot take on the horde. That's too many. Even if 99% of the swings miss, you're still going to lose in the long run, right? But these speedsters, you can at least keep them from you can get them to fight you. So as you're backing in, because I want it for the in the interests of time, it takes you a long time. It's because you're giving up as little ground as possible. Sometimes a bit of the horde turns towards you, so you have to kind of run away and clang noise over here to distract them away. And it's like a sheepdog, right? You're fighting 5 coyotes at the same time you're trying to herd your sheep. And it goes on for a while, which we're going to represent in 3 quick rolls from you. So 3 getting into scrap rolls. We'll do them one at a time. We'll do the first one that comes at you, because it's just a bolter. It's coming straight at you. You deal with these things all the time.
Ooh, that's not good.
Oh, wow. You're too overconfident, and one of them gets a hold of you, because that's the first attack that they do is they wrap, and then they... Right. So the first, I love this. So the first one hits, and as you reach down to pull it off, because you of all people are one of the few people that can pull one of these things off one-handed, another one hits you, and another one hits you, and it takes you some time and some stumbling around to get them pulled off and away. In the process, take 1 more point of damage. Tell me when you get to the skulls, when you have to sort of stand your ground.
So at this point, I've taken 2 points of armor damage and 3 points of actual damage. I have an 8 harm, so I have 5
harm left. Okay, yeah, perfect. So that you get them off of you and then sort of get back into defensive position and continue to back up. Give me your second roll. A group of them see what happened, and they form a wave and come at you in a group for this second roll.
That's a 7.
A 7
So,
just. Yeah. What? You're still using the sickle, right?
no,
Or
he's got like the anchor and everything too.
okay. So
Um,
yeah.
I think he uses it to sort of like he'll hit one, but then he's trying to like draw them across and trip others, like create little like waves and pockets
Yep.
where like he knows at least for a few seconds he doesn't have anybody coming at him from that
Yes,
direction.
and then you back up and knock down 2 more, and those 2 start getting up again, and then you knock down these 2, and it's all of a sudden it's the commercial from the '80s, and he's got 2 friends, and she's got 2 friends, and she's got 2 friends, but this is what you're facing, right? Even just the speedsters, it's just they never stop, they just keep coming, but you take 1 more point of damage because you only got a 6, or 7.
Yeah.
So still you just avoided you got the 7, so you only take 1 point of damage, but again they come at you as a wave, and while you manage to hack your way through it, it's one of those ones they pile on, and then you do the moment where you hurl them all off of you. They're dropping, but they're still coming. Yeah.
He's like 96. 95.
yeah. And as you back up, you feel your shoulders bump against the town or the village wall, and on top of the there's not really a tower, but there's like a little stand so they could look over the wall. You see 2 of the farmers yelling at the gatekeeper, and finally they just push him over and start pulling the gate open for you.
And
But
and
you've
he
got
says,
1 more round to make a hole by the door.
he looks at the ones that are trying to open the gate and he says no, because there's like the potential that zombies can get through that. And that's kind of when he just like grabs the zombie that's closest in front of him, like both of its arms, and just kind of like plants 1 foot in its chest, and he's using its body to like he's like shredding it as he does it, but he's kicking himself up and over the wall as he does that.
Love it. Give me 1 more roll.
I have a question.
Yep.
This horde of zombie could have fired, like beyond fired.
Oh, zombies burn really well, yes, as soon as you guys see them. But when that happens, that's going to happen when he hits the ground. And we're just got him over the fence into the village, so we're almost.
And I got
there.
an 8 on that. So
8. Okay, so you, and yeah, this is perfect. You snap him and crush him and use him as a spring and do the back fault over. But as right at the end, your foot sort of goes in to him and gets all covered. Well, no, this is not the zombie ones, but it. Oh, I know. Yeah, and you lose your vertical momentum, so you come down on the fence like that, taking 1 more harm, and then do the awkward roll off into the village.
Yeah, just pushes himself off the spikes.
You managed to stumble. I know I don't think you're quite there yet, but for the purposes of this is the perfect time to have this. You see, much to your surprise, a party going on about a block away from you. They appear to be completely oblivious to the zombies, to the demon zombies you were fighting, to the forest fire.
I think he looks like over towards like the 2 farmers that were at the gates. And aware that there's like a full mass of zombies on the other side of it. He's just kind of like,
nice.
We're all just going to be very quiet until they pass.
And then as you turn to start to walk, you get a strange sensation, like you need to be lubricated. The acid has gotten in, and it's you know, if you get back to the ship, you'll heal, but the ship's way over there.
Yeah. He just kind of like gives a little bow of his head to one of them. He's like, do one of you have some cloth?
And the 2 of them are just like pull off their shirts and hand them to you.
And he just he kind of just takes like part of the driftwood that is his chest off and like sets it down. And like just like rubbing it off.
Yeah.
And then, picks it back up like it's a piece of clothing.
Yeah. And it helped for a little bit, but as you struggle, just because I want to get to the moment that I put you in last week, so I have to take control here for about half a block.
Yeah.
You managed to, as you put it back on, it helped, but not much. It's like Iron Man going back to his original heart. It's going to work, but only for a minute. And you manage to get to the square, open your mouth to say something, and you lock up. And the second you do, you lose your balance because we have to be able to balance it.
Yeah.
And you just biff on your face in the dirt. You hear in that weird sort of semi-conscious, drugged, chemically rotting state that you're in, the 4 farmers running past screaming about zombie hordes and the great wooden hero and somebody get water and do you water him, and there's much ado.
Yeah. I think he's like locked up at the moment, so he's not saying anything. He is just kind of like taking the moment to kind of like self-analyze, you know, and like there's some of it that's sort of like, well, what did we learn?
I remember also that some farmers on Times Square was screaming monster
Yeah.
about Anchor.
Demon and monster. Yeah, they called him monster. But these 4 that's a perfect question to lead us into this. Anchor comes in, biff. These 4 farmers come running past him. They look thrashed. They've been running around in the field for hours going the demon zombies. They've been running away from this and that. Ben? Yeah. I saw
Ben would say, he's not a monster, he's our friend and our protector, he won't harm you. We got to get him onto the ship. And
yeah.
normally he wouldn't do this in a crowded place to not scare people, but he's drunk off his ass, so he isn't thinking and he's scared for Anchor. And
Yeah.
he would try to summon a strong zombie. His zombie from a shadow.
Okay.
Is all
No,
covered
no,
in
no,
barnacles.
no,
Wow,
no,
okay.
no.
Yeah. Well, somebody had to do it. There's 2 of them that can do this, so somebody had to do this. Drunk Ben. Thank
I
you
think
for
it's
your
2d6
concern, Deku.
Vanessa will do face palm.
Yeah, I think it's 2d6 to unleash my power.
And,
Yeah.
and Vanessa will try herself pull a Anchor, and before she will do face palm, seeing what Ben do.
So,
And
well,
it's
Ben,
a 5.
a 5. That's with your bonus.
Oh, and plus Spitfire, I think. So it's
Yep.
7.
7. Ooh, you just just barely. So I want to put this in perspective because the 4 farmers have rushed in. They're screaming stuff like, "No, it's hero," and they're pointing at Anchor, and they're pouring river water on you because that's what you do with dolphins, and they're panicking, trying to help. The rest of you hear that Anchor's been a hero, see that he is shit kicked. Like you guys saw him in the first fight. That was 3 points, right?
Yeah.
This
3
was
points and 1
7?
armor. This is 2 points of armor and 6 out of 8.
6 out of 8. So yeah, they're plus he's sort of frozen up from something, like he's seizing up. It does not look. It's as bad as you've ever seen it. And Ben is right. If you get into the ship, he'll be okay. Ben, you start yelling as well. The 4 farmers get everybody in the village convinced. But then they say the magic words, "But there's a zombie horde," and they point at the gates. And that's when the 3 of you in the darkling light, I love that word too, darkling. It's like, ooh, that's a spooky time. Just as the sun's going down, it's lighting this cloud of smoke on the horizon. You can see the forest fire, and you can see the zombies wandering around out in the field, and you can see a trail of absolute zombie wreckage that you could as it gets dark, you can see where Anchor fought his way back to the castle, so to speak, right?
I have question. Do farmers and village could blame Vanessa and Cassandra for fire because we used
No.
fire blame?
No, it's this is clearly, for right now, it looks for all the world just like a forest fire. Nobody's blaming you guys. You guys came from this way and the fire's this way. so it wasn't you.
I think Cassandra's rainbow will be useful to put out the fire.
Entirely
Or a
possible.
spell.
But what the three of you do see is that there are still a number of these bolter zombies, the fast ones, that are going to need to be taken care of. The vast majority of the horde is wandering off into the distance. There is a small group of about 10 or 20 of them that are kind of, they can hear the noises of the village, even though Anchor has asked everybody to shush. They can hear it. So there's a group of 10 or 12 of them milling around, but then there's also about half a dozen of these, the fast ones. What do you do?
I think that Vanessa
You summoned your zombie.
we-
Okay, yeah.
that Vanessa will be trying to ask Tara or Steve to help Anchor bring to ship while she will be protecting with her gun and powers.
Okay.
Wait. We need to get rid of the zombies first. But also,
But it's too many of them and Anchor is dying.
if we
Sandra,
can
yeah.
get this green shit off of him first, we can. She's looking in the crowd for some of the sailors that are attending the party, and she points them out.
Yeah.
Jim Bob, Slim Jim, get over here and clean Anchor. Get this
Clean the-
green crap off him.
I love it. Scrape this green crap off of our Anchor. I love it. And now they're all named Jim in some way or another. Thank you for that.
No, thanks, Yosa. I like the gag too.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess she's looking at Tara, and she
Yeah.
would want Tara to like go find or make a gurney to carry Anchor with. And
Yeah.
she would get like 4 other sailors to make ready to carry Anchor
Perfect.
away.
So.
Ben
So-
is stupid and drunk and is summoning a zombie.
I'll
and
help
his
too.
eyes are
Yeah.
his eyes
I
are
guess.
all green, and
Yeah.
he's trying also to help get Anchor to the ship.
'Kay.
He's like
Ben,
blinders and eyes.
Ben. Have your zombie go out there and distract the others.
Oh. Okay, smart person.
Vanessa
Do that.
Okay.
Vanessa will be
Do the zombie.
have like obligation that she have drum and she will use this drum to protect Anchor way to ship.
Yes. I was waiting for that. So that we're gonna pause you guys there because I got a whole bunch of stuff that you guys are doing and I haven't let you do any of it. This is all I'm gonna. So, drunk Ben, you summon the zombie. First things first. It looks nothing like zombies.
Yes.
It is just sort of a collection of shadows that does your will. It is clearly not a zombie. It's just an unfortunate choice of words because of the world we're playing in. But it appears you at first go get it to try and carry Anchor. That's not necessary. You're going to carry Anchor along with the crew. The 3 of you and the crew are going to, and
Yes.
Tara and Steve are all getting Anchor back to the ship. On the way, Vanessa, because you had a really good idea, I want to let you do that idea, but I also want to give you a little prize too. Just as you get to the bottom of the gangplank, you look up, and one of the fast zombies, the bolters, is coming over the fence at one point, and you've got an absolutely clear line of sight to it.
I will shoot
Yep,
with my pistol, but normal ammo
just normal ammo, absolutely.
and head. I'm
Yeah. You actually got a 9 plus 2, so 11. So yes, that is a full success. So yeah, that's just, and it just and falls onto the posts, just hanging there. Like you don't know Anchor was, but it's for the viewing audience. It's a funny back shadowing because here's this dead body now hanging like this on the fence.
Like an Elden Ring sort of
Yes,
set
yeah.
piece.
Yeah. the ragdoll physics of him hanging there and twitching slightly in the wind. And then Vanessa, as you put the gun away, your hand sort of bumps against the drum, and you look down and say, "Oh, right." And you start to do just the basic beat, the basic walk in a straight line beat.
Yes, or this one where they have and taking into
The shovels. Oh, yeah.
so
Yeah.
so they will stop.
So all the zombies, not the bolters, but the regular slows, the shufflers, all of them, as Vanessa starts this, dun, 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 you can hardly hear it. It's not really, it doesn't really carry. It's a little tiny drum, but somehow they hear it, and anybody that's watching sees the group of actual shufflers stop and start doing a shoveling motion all together. So it kind of looks like they're dancing. 'Cause
I
they're all
wonder how Cassandra react because I didn't have time to
Yes,
tell her.
nobody had time. So, that's you remembered the drum, so you make an amazing shot, and then you start drumming on the drum. So yeah, Cassandra. Oh, Ben laughed so hard he broke his camera. So we'll ask Cassandra first. How do you respond to looking over the as you're hauling anchor up? You sort of, as you pull, you kind of lean back, and your eyes pop up, and you see the shot, this beautiful shot that Vanessa made. But then you see the Vanessa starts tapping on the drum. You're right there. You can hear it, and you see all the zombies out in the field starting to.
Yes.
I can't help it; it's staying alive. But yeah. What do you do? This weird
I
moment.
guess lets her jaw drop for
Yeah.
at least a few seconds.
Uh,
Like, where did she get that? How is this working? Why is this working? What the hell? And I
Vanessa?
guess-
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Cassandra, go. I jumped in.
I guess she wonders aloud, can we make more than one of that? And I guess I don't know what order she would do. She's kind of reached her limit of social interaction, I think.
So you just go back to Hall and Anchor on board? The jokes never end with this character name. I love it. So,
Guess
But
so,
let's-
and she would still want to watch Vanessa's back,
oh
even
yeah,
though
yeah,
it's not needed.
yeah. And then,
Vanessa will say a letter to Cassandra that I don't know how to make more. I just found out, but I think demons have them, and they wanted us to collect zombies, so they will use those things.
and Vanessa, because you did research these things just yesterday, there's nothing magical about them. There's nothing that's not repeatable. There's no reason that you can think of why you couldn't build another one. Just use the same specifications, and it should work, as far as you can tell.
But I don't know what materials,
Yeah,
because I
yeah,
think because Vanessa will be assuming that ordinary drum not work.
yeah. That's fair. We'll do something where you and Cassandra can work together to figure it out. But yeah, my point is, it's possible. You might not know how right now, but it's possible to build more of this.
We can
There's-
find
there's nothing
someone that
magical about it.
actually knows instruments.
Yeah, that
Yes,
would be a good
but
thing.
it's
to
for later.
say. Yeah. So,
Right now,
Trombone
Ben,
Jim.
I don't know if you need oral for it, but Ben would just spend his turn hauling anchor to the ship, and he would say to Cassandra, after we get him back to the ship, you should try that new book to quell the fire, the forest fire. Like make rain or something.
as you to put out first of all, yeah, it's a good suggestion, Cassandra. You would know from reading the book. To put out a forest fire would need
Big magic.
would take, that's Pointy doing it, and that's dangerous, extra dangerous to you for getting sucked into the book. That would be a big ask. But Ben, you summoned your sort of shadow creature a little while ago and sent them out to distract the zombies. As you pull, the last heave, as the three of you and all the crew and Tara and Steve and two of the four fishermen or farmers heave anchor onto the deck. And as he hits the deck, he just kind of disappears, sort of falls to pieces. And for a second, it's like, oh, and then they get absorbed into the ship. And at that moment, Ben, you look up to see, you're the first one to see it. It's like a low speed chase going on out in the field. It's like an O.J. Simpson thing, because there's your shadow and a whole herd. Like there's a bunch of other zombies, not the ones that are still dancing, because they'll keep shoveling as long as Vanessa keeps playing. But there's another group that is just very slowly following your very slow shadow as he leads them on the slowest wild goose chase around the field on the other side of the village.
Good work, Shady.
He's quite
You're
slender.
very slim.
He's slender, Shady. You're
He's Jim Shady.
Jim Shady.
Yes.
And as all of that is going on, as cute as that moment is, all of you realize, Anchor, you sort of, well, you tell me, what happens when you bond with the ship? What's that like?
I think it's like, just for a moment, he's like the rocking of the waves, or
Yep.
you know, I mean, they're in a river, so it's not quite waves, but there's still a current that's
Yep.
you know, binding them. He can feel where like the chain of the anchor sort of reconnects to the ship and goes down to the bottom. He's feeling the engines itself, and you know, can feel like the relative calm and like the library and sort of like sense of dread and menace that's the temple that's in the belly of the ship, you know.
Yep.
And so like it's I think it's actually the ship's mind, and Anchor is actually asleep. Does that make sense? Or
Yeah.
his equivalent of it.
Yeah.
But like it's just for him sort of like a seamless like switch from one sense to the other. And there's not that he can like do anything as the ship. He's you know, he's still asleep.
Yeah.
But like he's sort of just cradled in that consciousness for a little while.
Yes.
But like Anchor is also like immediately aware that his friends are still in danger. This village is still in danger. And he's crawling his way back out. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like if everybody was fine, he would be like content to remain like this. You know what I'm saying? But like instead, it's like there's like bronze fingers that like appear on one of the floorboards, and like he starts to pull himself out of the deck.
Yeah.
Almost as soon as he touches it.
Perfect. And I just realized that for Anchor, this is literally a mothership.
Oh, that's adorable.
But yes, perfect. You claw yourself out of the deck, just for because I think for the moment you're weak from the experience. You're like a freshly molted crab, right? You're just sort of, you pull yourself up, but you're still physically quite weak. You can just stand. The four of you on the deck of the ship look, and you see this whole village in front of you. And beyond it, coming over the walls, too many. There's too many bolters. They're everywhere.
Anchor buddy, you shouldn't go out there now. Could you maybe use the cannons of the ship? I don't know, you seem to be one with the ship. Maybe do something like that. I don't want you to die, but
You would blow the hell out of the town. And
I
there's still
think-
people in there. So yeah,
I
Vanessa?
think we should rescue people from village on ship because there's too many zombies.
Yeah.
And I think that Anchor, you should get back and rest.
Anchor points to the field of like baled hay and everything that's to the south.
Yeah.
He says, if we get them there, we light it up. The whole thing burns. Every zombie that's in it.
but we would waste so much food. Can maybe we can like shoot the cannons not at the city but like at the ones that went away.
I
Or
need-
They've,
What?
they're
Why-
half done with their harvest. They have the
Why-
food in a granary. What's
Why?
left will be burned.
Why we get a letter read to this field for food, and right now just rescue villagers. They are more important, and we can't waste time on firing everything here.
Okay,
No,
It's
we
no
just draw
money.
as many as we can into that field and rescue the villagers from the other side. The
Let's-
zombies that come, they'll burn. They won't have a place to run to. They'll hit the walls or they'll go into the burning forest or into the river.
give me a size up, everybody.
Okay.
I'm not even going to tell you why. Just so
Sure.
2d6 plus vinegar.
46.
Help with mine.
Yep.
I can.
It's 7 for me and my vinegar.
Cassandra has the plan.
My vinegar
wow.
is 0, so it's 7.
I had
10,
a
11,
7
so-
after my vinegar.
Okay, so the 2 7s. This makes sense. It makes sense to you that the field is big. You can get the people in the field. But Cassandra and Vanessa, you're maybe you're better at Tetris or something. But the two of you realize, especially Captain Cassandra, this is a big ship. And it's got a lot of empty space in it. It would not be seaworthy if you shoved everybody onto this ship and tried to put out to sea, but as Anchor pointed out, this isn't a sea, it's just a river. So you could get most or at least all or at least most onto your ship and just go across the river, put them on that bank, or go downstream or go upstream. And the further you go, the more dangerous it is. But you could just, and I mean just, for a very short period of time, which would be classed as an emergency in a regular situation, get all the living souls on this ship.
I would be for this that rescue people because it's waste of time fighting this horde. It's too many. And always we can let the red to kill and save food.
You were there during the harvest festival. That means they brought the harvest in.
Yeah.
There's no food that's going to be destroyed. I'm
Steve,
just saying we burn
yeah.
we burn the field and the zombies that are there, and we circle the ship around to get everybody that we can onto it so that they can get away from
But
the zombies.
After
The two farmers,
After-
yeah, Cassandra?
But
Oh.
but if we burn field, then in future we can't plant new things because
Yes, we
Solid
can.
Cassandra.
Cassandra?
wildfires happen all the time,
Yeah.
and the forest is always fine afterwards.
Steve,
New
yeah.
stuff grows. Some things need fire in order to grow later. We can just find a fallow field, something that was already empty.
Or an orchard to the south. It's
Yeah.
already there.
Steve pipes up. Actually, the two of the farmers, those farmers that helped drag Anchor aboard, they're still right there. By the way, they're looking at you, Anchor, like, what the hell? Like, you're fixed, you're hero, but wow.
I think right now, because Anchor's still down harm,
Yeah.
like a lot of what would normally be like driftwood is actually just like sailcloth at the moment that's like wrapped around, so he's a little more
Yeah.
skeletal than normal.
Sure. But he
He's magic. Don't worry about it. We've got bigger problems.
okay, bigger than him. Oh, I see what you mean, figuratively bigger. If you could just get us anywhere where, I mean, this is gonna burn anyway. He points at the forest fire coming across. He says, "That's those fucking Vikings.
Oh,
They
fuck them.
every once in a while, when the zombies get too close to their precious little longhouse that they built, they just burn the forest to chase them away."
They are not Vikings, they are posers. They have nothing to do with the North. Viking is a thing you do, like a farm. No, not farm, like farming.
And Steve turns and looks at you and says, I know that. You know that.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm
let's
not
go
go-
with the
yeah.
evacuation plan. Vanessa,
Yes,
please
yes,
get the
and
drum.
I'm gonna try to turn into animal and not to fight them, but to like get them into a field or whatever.
So you're going to try and lead them away. Yeah.
Yes.
The rest of you are going to load the ship. Oh, Ben can send his critter off, or
Anchor is going to be doing what he does of getting attention, but he looks to
Okay.
Vanessa before he goes over the ship. He says, "When they're surrounding me, hit me with the fireball. You know it won't hurt me."
right. Okay. So the
He
grand
even kind of like takes some like an oil lamp that's nearby and just kind of pours it over the sailcloth.
Yeah.
And he's going over the side.
Vanessa will return to town, and yeah, everybody on ship, and
Okay.
she will shoot to
I
the
like this.
sky.
We're gonna do this as a sort of cinematic scene rather than a whole bunch of rolling.
Yep,
So
and
yeah, Anchor heads
roll
overboard
was
to
11
distract.
plus 2,
Vanessa
so another
starts
eagle.
Vanessa starts walking down the street, just popping anything that gets too close and yelling at the locals to get on the ship. Ben, sorry, I was
My roll was 11 plus 2, so he would turn into demonic eagle and try to
yes the
like,
same.
not fight them, but
Yep.
yell at them, harass them from the air, swoop.
Chase them,
Peck
get them to
of
chase
you.
you, all the good
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, perfect. So you're flipping and flopping around. Vanessa's walking through town, being heroic. Anchor's doing the thing. Cassandra,
I guess. What would she do? I don't know what
it's
she'd
it's
do.
always tough to be the last person I ask because everybody's already doing stuff. You look around and you've got a like I said, you could maybe because you're the captain, don't have words in your mouth, but you realize if you threw some stuff overboard, you'd have more room. Or
you
say,
can
maybe
try
thinking
Stuff
of other
like
ways to
what?
make,
fire.
or
Like our
Maybe.
supplies, like what we're supposed to take back, our main
for
mission.
these people was my thought.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe Cassandra could say to others where they should go on ship, and she could save food from town tablets.
Just
Yes,
Tetrising people.
or maybe try
Yeah.
to put out the fires. That's an option.
Like packing the like packing the tubes in undergrounds. But yeah, Cassandra, the choice is yours. It's okay to be
I
like
think-
to be looking around going, what would I do? What would I do?
I
Because
think-
that's I think
I-
what Cassandra might do. So
I think it be fit to Cassandra control to not be chaotic on ship where evacuation.
but you've had a bit of a chance to think. What do you think she'd do?
If she starts throwing stuff overboard, she's going to want compensation because we're supposed to
Ah.
be taking food back
Yeah,
for everyone back home.
that's absolutely fair.
and
Oh,
this entire village is going to owe us.
Oh, I love this. So
Cassandra,
yeah,
I try to make her good, but
you
she's been raised a pirate. She is
Damn
raised to do
straight.
business.
damn straight. So you grab as they
As much as she wants to do the right thing, she has to consider stuff back home too,
perfect.
which is
Oh, I love this because this allows me to say that you, the mayor of this town is, some might say, embarrassingly early in the queue. For the people that's on the ship, they are not staying in town helping. They're like the 10th person onto your boat, which is perfect because you kind of figuratively or let me ask you, figuratively or literally collar them to have this conversation. Do you actually grab them as they try and go by?
she uses the stick to bar his entry onto the boat.
like
And then
a toll
she's going
bridge.
to look him in the eye
Yes.
and tell him, you, all of you, owe us. And then she gives the order to like jettison some of the cargo.
Yep. Perfect. So give me, we're going to say this is a parlay. So plus polish. 2d6 plus polish, please.
Ah,
And remember, you can burn bonds and all kinds of good stuff to
I
increase
guess
your roll.
I could burn a bond with the ship,
Yes,
couldn't I?
absolutely. Yep.
And I forget, does that just help me succeed without a roll? Or what does it do?
It gives you one success, I think. Guaranteed.
Yeah, let's go with that. I like that. So that means the minimum you can roll. So, yeah.
-1. Holy
Wow,
shit, that's
another crit. So that's
that's
12
still
minus 1 is
11.
11. Yeah. So, he looks at you, and I mean, he's already stressed out. His village is maybe going to burn down. It's 10 minutes ago he was having a party, now this, and he looks at you and you see you. Oh, you met this guy. You know this guy. This is the charming asshole mayor, right? The one that you were
Yep.
taking notes on last night. And you see him go to open his mouth to hit you with the smarmy mayor thing, and you just sort of give him the one eyebrow, and he shuts up and he says, "Everything that you want. Save them." And then he looks at you and in a quieter voice says, "Tell them that I helped." And then he tries to scurry away.
Deal. And she lets him on the ship.
And then the people start flowing up from where you're standing, Cassandra. Vanessa is like, we had the sheepdog metaphor before, but that's exactly what it looks like. She goes over here and all the people that were in the village there come to the ship, and she goes over there and all the people that were over there, it's like she's herding the humans to the ship.
Vanessa, we also shoot to sky to make even more stress
Yeah.
to them to run to ship.
Yep. And also, like I said, we're turning this bit into a movie. Every once in a while, you turn around and just blast one of the bolters as they run in. With that, yeah, Anchor, you look like you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I think like once he's like way out in the field, you can see like zombies coming at him from every direction. That's what he's like. Fireball!
Yeah. And
And Vanessa, we get Anchor and we shoot fireball.
okay. Cassandra, you also have the ability to make fire, and you hear Anchor yell, "Fireball!" Do you also fire?
I guess so.
Same question, Ben. Because you can also make fire, right? You're muted.
Muted.
Sorry, but I think he cannot because he's a bird now. So he
Oh,
cannot fire. I think you cannot use to.
That's fair. Yeah, that's too bad.
well,
But
it's-
yes, I like it anyway. So yeah, Anchor standing in the middle
Maybe
of the
he's a
field.
fire-breathing bird.
We're not going quite that far, but yes, thank you for
No,
yeah. You're
it will
so
be
you're
too much.
flying around. You're lit by
But
the
he's
ensuing.
attacking, he's eating some zombies because he likes that meat now.
Yeah, and you are
So-
lit by the ensuing explosion. Because Vanessa's is more, in my mind at least, it's more flashy because it's the demon. Whereas Cassandra, yours is like a pinpoint of like you can make up to a bonfire, right?
Yeah.
Out of your book, and then you sneeze. So yeah.
Yes. But I need to roll unleash its power, so that's 2d6 plus my Spitfire.
Okay. Yep.
Enter.
See if you can do it again. I dare you.
Enter.
Ooh.
Nope.
6 plus. That's okay. You made it to 6. Actually, I like this. You light because you failed for the. Like I said, this is the movie part of it. You poof, and the fire. You misjudged. It's getting dark, and the fire pops up just short of Anchor, and it's like, oops. And then Vanessa's fireball goes right through your campfire, and it hits right next to Anchor, and whoomph! It's like a kerosene lamp out in the middle of the field. And then in
And
that light, you
Vanessa-
guys see Ben.
And Vanessa, we push her heart like gun.
Yep. and you shove the last of the people on board. Cassandra, you get the last person in the last closet. You know, like every inch of your ship. They're in the garden, sitting between the plants. They're sitting on the roof, wrapped around the railings. They're
But Vanessa will be angry if someone will come to her shrine.
oh no. Vanessa, let's. I like the idea that you know that there's a way in, and you can go outside, so you can go down the side of the ship and in through one of the portholes. And yeah, strangely enough, not strangely at all, no one is within 2 steps of your shrine. It's the only space on the ship that's empty. It's like it doesn't exist. Like nobody's looking at that space going, "Oh, we should use that." It's like they literally don't see it.
I got a small question.
Mhm.
Could Eagle Ben grab a bottle of wine and a pot from the party
Yeah.
tables left?
Yeah.
Because he has a plan in the future for those
You
two
saw-
items.
I saw in my head the flag of a fictitious nation. It's an eagle with a bottle of wine in one claw, and a fish in the
My
other.
new favorite coat of arms.
But with that, Ben, you fly back and land on the deck of the ship.
Yes.
Anchor, you're standing in a toasty bonfire in the middle of a
Oh
field.
no, I think there's like some zombies that are at the edge of the fire that are kind of fleeing, and then suddenly an anchor
Yep.
will like burst out of their
Yep.
chest and they'll yank back
Yeah.
into the fire.
just reeling it
Get
in and letting it
over
burn.
here.
Yeah, I love it. So yeah, you do that, and then as the fire
It's
burns down,
fucking-
you got to do the exit right as the fire burns down. You just walk out in slow motion.
Well, yeah, because he's a black skeleton by that point.
Yeah,
Like all of the like sailcloth and everything is burned away, but like
Yep.
the copper frame is there,
Mhm.
and it's just completely covered with soot.
Yeah.
And like the only thing that it looks different are his eyes, which kind of have that like flicker of little lightning
Yep.
across them.
Oh, speaking of eyes, I forgot the whole time. But as Vanessa, as you checked your space, and then I presume you sort of went back up on the main deck. As you do, you see people backing away from you, like they're afraid of you, and it's only then that you look down and you realize you've changed. You're like black smoke wrapped in vapor. Your hood goes across your face. No one can see you right now except for 2 red dots where your eyes are. One of them in the shape of a crosshair, the other one in the shape of a circle. When you move, it's just sort of. And as you come down out of that fight mode, those things start to sort of click back into the Vanessa that everybody knows and loves. You were in full Sparrow mode there for a minute.
Vanessa will react normal because she's used to this.
Yep. But yeah, on this trip, if any of you, this would have been the first time you'd seen Vanessa go full Assassin Sparrow mode.
Only Ben didn't serve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Ben, because he had demon eagle eyes, when
Yeah.
he would see that, and when he turned back to human, he would say, "Wow, Vanessa, really cool. You should call yourself the Black Sparrow of Death. It would really fit you."
This
Thanks.
giant harpy eagle.
Thanks.
He was just a giant
Thanks,
harpy eagle, and he
Cyclops.
says, "Oh, sorry."
Thanks and consider it.
Just thumbs up.
And with this whole ship full of people, Cassandra, everybody looks to you as to be the captain. Do you give the order to heave to? And people are looking to you specifically for instruction. Where are you going with these people?
Raise the gangplank and I guess shift to the opposite side of the river because this boat is too full to
Yeah.
make a long journey,
Mhm.
and like have the gangplank go out the opposite side, so
Absolutely. Yep.
maybe
So-
reduce some of the strain on the ship.
Yeah. You make those orders, and your crew. I mean, it takes them a while because they have to get past people to get to ropes and things, and it's really but when they get people to move, the whole ship kind of goes. But you
Then we
kind of
kill
do
them.
this across the river, like side to side. There's never a stable moment the whole crossing. But we don't
I
have.
wonder how many of these people get motion sick.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are not doing well, for sure.
If you need to
Lot of
puke,
drunk
go
people.
vomit over that side.
And they're all
Balance
like,
us out a
we
little."
can't move. Oh God, we're stuck in here with it. Ah.
I wondered if anybody had stupid idea to jump to lifeboat and not be on the ship.
Your lifeboats are full of people too. Too many are in them that if you put them down right now, they'd sink. But yeah, it's a neat idea. But every usable space except for and they're in the heads, right? They're in the toilets, but they're not in your room. But Cassandra, they are in the library. That was going to be one of the spaces that I was going to sort of, that's one of the places you're going to have to give up. Your garden's full of people, your library's full of people, everything. You get across the river and thud against the other side. The gangplank goes down, and it starts the very slow process of offloading because it's not an emergency now, right? You can see it. So you've got time to watch. You also know you've got time. It's going to be a while before they're off. What you may not have expected is after a couple dozen people have gotten off, they move into a nearby small copse of bushes, and they start dragging out fishing boats. First 1 or 2, then 5 or 6, then 10 or 12. And when they finally stop, there's almost 20 boats lined up. And the oars and all the good stuff that goes along with it. And Steve says, we've kind of had a plan to do this, but thank you. You guys have been downstream, right? Is there any place we could go there?
It's a village.
Yeah,
It's been abandoned.
There was also the one outpost on the shore where I guess they could go and I guess Cassandra would write like a letter recommendation sort of
nice. Yeah.
summarizing everything that happened
Yeah.
and like by the authority of Captain Bloody Bloody Blah.
Using it finally. Yes. Throw your weight around. I love it.
She's the one stuck on the ship whereas everybody else jumps overboard, so she might as well take responsibility. Even if she's not a capital C captain, she can be a lowercase c captain for now.
I'll do the paperwork, damn it. And just as you're trying to think that, like I'm not taking all the charge. I'm not going to be all the way in charge. I'm just going to do this bit. There is a knock at your. You're in the captain's room because it's a small space, so you can empty it quickly at people and use it. So you're not the captain, but you're in their room. There's a knock at the door.
We can just call it the officer's office or whatever.
Yeah.
Map room.
Yeah. But there's a knock at the door.
I still wondering if your village, Peanut Village, will react okay to people from land when they supposed not exist.
And to that, Steve says, well, it's got to be better than those fucking Vikings. You know they used to trade with us? Like up until like 3-4 months ago?
One
used to
more
bring-
time, not Vikings.
I know, but that's what they call themselves, so...
Idiots.
Oh, wait till you see them. You have no idea. But they call themselves Vikings, so that's what I'm going to call them.
I'm gonna burn them. Don't call them Vikings. It's
Okay, he says, all right, okay. The definitely not Vikings.
fake Vikings.
Fake Vikings.
Vikings.
Fake news about fake Vikings.
Cosplayers. Cosplayers.
Cosplayers. That's just rude. You call them Vikings, yeah, from fake Vikings. Steve's just like, he finally laughs. Like
Yeah.
he was trying to talk, but he's just laughing at this. Now he's okay. Whatever we're gonna call them, the dickheads in the longhouse. How's that? Okay,
Amazing.
we got one. The dickheads in the longhouse do things like burn the forest without telling us they're gonna do it.
But that's with a better not swear. There's a tree threats from village on sheep.
Oh,
They're gonna have to get used to it. This boat is full of sailors.
Children swore more than adults. It's fun for them.
but yes, he says, yeah, up until like 3 months ago, they brought us plows and shovel heads and axe heads, and we gave them food. Good deal, right? It's good for everybody. But then we told them we didn't need any more. I mean, how many? We literally have 3 times as many axe heads as we have people. I don't need any. We don't need any more. And we told them that, and ever since then, it's been raiding our food and burning forests again, chasing zombies at us. So yeah, we're ready to leave. If we got to fight a couple zombies to take an empty town, or we got to go talk nice to pirates. You guys are pirates, right? We talk nice to you.
We
Yes,
are good pirates. We don't steal.
Usually,
Much.
In every nation there are thieves and whores. So they are bad pirates.
You
and
guys
good
are
pirates.
mythical where I'm from. And he kind of looks across the river like it's right. That's where he's from, right there. You guys
The
don't
same about
exist.
for
This
us.
boat doesn't exist. It's like being in some kind of story that some idiot's telling at the fire, and you're going, I don't believe this story. I need to drink more. That's what. And he kind of stops because he's about to lose his shit.
Hey,
Yeah.
you were the same to us about 2 days ago. So cool it. Cassandra's kind of had it up to here with
Yeah.
everybody by
Yeah.
now. She's stuck
Oh.
doing all the paperwork and
I think
getting
Anchor
left
just
behind
kinda,
and having to
I,
clean up, and
I
it's
think
like,
at that moment, Anchor is gonna just kind of like put his hand on her shoulder
Yeah. Steps in.
when he can tell that like her temper's rising.
Yeah.
He doesn't like say anything. It's just kind of like a supportive gesture.
I like the idea that Anchor could just be somewhere in the ship. Just sort of comes out of the wall. as long as he's on board.
And for that's how we look at hardcore and say, you better than to and rest. We don't want you die.
I'm here. We'll recover.
Cassandra just takes a deep breath and like mutters an apology and keeps writing.
Don't apologize. You have right to be angry.
And you were right, says Steve. All I should have said was, we're ready to leave.
Okay, we can help
Oh,
with that.
and he looks around. Because I don't know where that asshole mayor is, but thank you. You just saved 128 people, Captain.
It's okay.
You're welcome. To be fair to your mayor, he did help. However, I cannot promise this new way of life will be easy for you amongst pirates. But at the very least, you'll be given the tools you need to fight a little better. We have weapons and training, and the world is your oyster now. Try not to close up on yourselves.
Anchor kind of whispers to Cassandra, like, they're landlubbers. I don't think they know what oysters are.
They
Oysters
go on
are
the shore, they
delicious.
know.
And
Steve,
Vanessa will whisper to Cassandra, ask them about how to farming.
In return for shelter and training and everything else, you may be expected to teach all of us how to farm, the ways of the land. We've been, as much as we love the ocean, we can't stay there. And I guess she would like go into the food shortages and
yeah.
how they've been living and everything else. And like, kind of to sum it up, we all need this land. We need to get as much of it back from the zombies as we can, and the demons now, I guess.
And the whole time you're talking, he's listening, he's nodding, he's absolutely buying into everything you're saying. But there's this little tiny smirk that just keeps showing up on his lips and then going away and then showing up again and going away. And at the end, he's, of course. He looks. I'm gonna try and be the new mayor, and if I am, we will help you in every way possible. But I have never seen anybody look so earnest about pushing a plow before. I'm sorry if I kind of giggled, but can you teach us the ways of the Yes, yes, we can. I'm sorry, it just made me giggle.
It's
mean,
just new
If
and
you're not
exotic for
laughing, you're
us.
crying, so fair enough.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Vanessa will grip like every person and hand holding together like a plan every and wishes she talked to herself. New mayor, you say, and she will be thinking in her head, what if I throw out this old mayor to water?
I want to run down this path a little bit. So you sort of take him away to have this conversation with you about maybe the old mayor just kind of just disappears. At first, like you want to be the new mayor. He's like, yeah. I'm thinking I should probably go out there and help people right now. That would be a really good start. And then you, should I kill him? Basically, I mean, not that directly, right? But you hint at that. And he said,
Yes.
uh, oh, um, and he
But-
kind of,
But Vanessa, don't sarcast this loud. She will only to herself react
oh,
when
okay,
he mentioned you mayor.
okay. I thought you were going to talk to him. Okay, because he's not. But yeah, he says, I think I think I should go out and help everybody get off the boat, right? I think that'd be a good start, right?
Take charge.
Yeah. And he salutes you, Captain Cassandra, and then he kind of starts towards the door and he stops and turns around and takes the time to salute all of you one at a time.
Saluting him
Vanessa,
back.
and Vanessa will react whatever.
And
Anchor
Ben would
understands.
say to Vanessa, oh, sorry, Anchor, you wanted to say something.
Well, Anchor does kind of, he just like nods. He understands the salute is a symbol of respect,
Yeah.
and so he treats it respectfully. But then his hand kind of like is on Ben's shoulder, and it's probably like a little bit ominous. But he's like, "Come with me." Heads towards probably like the map room.
Yeah, sure. Oh, you said no bosses, no captains. Mr. Anchor, sir, I just wanted to say will not ply you with gifts because that would be dishonest to you, but I really need and want to be part of this ship. I don't have a home, so
Roll up your
it's
sleeve.
important to me.
Roll up your sleeve.
He would.
Yeah, and Anchor takes out, he's got a like very old style tattoo set, which is like the poke and stick, and like everybody on the crew has
Yes.
a tattoo.
Yep.
He kind of like leans in, he's like, "You've been drinking?"
Yep.
Good.
I'm a sailor. I'm gonna.
Because this is gonna fucking hurt.
It will, but I
I
think
want
that Ben is
So-
a Northman, so he would. I don't think he would have a problem with pain.
My question
want
is, when you
that.
pull up your
I
sleeve,
want that.
Yeah.
I want that. If everybody have tattoo, what Vanessa have tattoo?
well,
I think
there's
there's like a tattoo that's like the ship's flag.
yeah,
Does that make sense?
That's
That
what
that
I
like
have.
everybody has, and I think if anybody has requested other tattoos, he's been happy to provide them. But
Yeah.
like the flag of the ship is like the mark of crew member.
yeah. Ben, when you pull up your sleeve, are there any tattoos there?
I don't think there would
Oh.
be tattoos, but there would be a lot of scars because life was hard, and he, since being a little kid, he would have to fight for every scrap. So he's scrawny, but there is some muscle tone to him. He just didn't have the funds for many tattoos,
Oh, yeah.
so
Yeah.
it is kind of important to him. And he would say to Anchor, uh, I know that words are cheap, actions speak louder than words, but I just wanted to say I'm gonna do my all for this ship. I know this ship is literally you, so I'm too scared of you to do anything against the ship or against the crew that I will be a part now.
Don't be scared of me.
Oh,
Yeah.
He he says, "Tell me about your old crew. Tell me
He
about the ones you
would-
lost."
He would start to tell you that now that I think about it, I wanted to have vengeance from my mother, but now that I think about it, my mother was an asshole as well. I should get vengeance on her as well. She like got a new fresh husband. Yeah, I don't blame her for that. I was like 6. She wanted to have fun, but then she went mad, and she got all those gambling debts from her Robert. And instead of saying to me, like, be happy, my son, she burdened me with her vengeance on her lover. What a shitty mother. And my old crew was the north. We got a two-faced goddess of the sea. One is the nice, happy face, the maiden sea, and the other is beach of the storms. And I was raised by the church after a few years on the street, and most of my crew were nuns and priests. It was pretty nice. They gave me this cape as a memento when I came of age.
So what Anchor is doing, he's listening the entire time. He's just letting Ben talk. He's letting him talk about like the people that have affected his life, his mother, his previous crews and stuff like that. But so like the flag of like the ship that he's on is like at the top of like just under his shoulder, but then underneath he does a long ship. And he has like a head on like the figurehead on either side of it to represent like that it was actually 2 ships that he served on. Does that make sense? And he starts to
Yes.
fill in the long ship with small images of like the mother, the people that he mentions, crew members that are lost.
Oh, that
He's
is
creating
so
like just like a
wonderful.
memento on his arm of like where he's from.
Like the one
whole
point of the
Value
long
of
ship is
tapestry.
one face of the goddess, the other is the other face of the
Yep.
goddess.
Yeah. And
Um,
the story in between.
yeah.
Beautiful.
And so as he kind of like
Beautiful.
finishes it, I want to ask out of character, are you okay with them in this moment, like developing a bond for each other?
Yep.
Because I have a
Yes,
spare one.
I would love that.
Yep. I think
Okay.
that makes perfect sense over that experience. Yep.
Okay. I'm just gonna note it down. So Um,
Does it have type of bones like?
well, we have like ship bonds. We have like, I don't think there's a specific type. I think it's just
Oh,
like
okay,
a
because
mechanical.
I'm mixing up the systems.
Yeah, well, it's just
You
a
would now
mechanical
have a
reflection of that
bond
they have a
with Anchor.
relationship.
Yeah. If you didn't have one already, you've got one now. You can have up to 3 with any person.
I think to Anchor, Ben would be like he would idolize him, kind of. He would be very respectful, like I don't know the power by the apocalypse, like type of bonds, like friendship, but it wouldn't be friendship from Ben, but like I forgot the word. But he would,
Respect.
yes, respectful. He would put him on a pedestal because it's this strange magic being, and he's
Adoration, adulation.
adoration. Yeah.
Nice.
As he puts the tattoo set away, Anchor kind of like gestures around the ship that they're in, and he says, "Every crew member has left their mark on this ship. Cassandra has left a library. I've left that thing attached to the engine." It's just like there's a little bit of like that needs work. Like it's a work in progress. It says Vanessa has a place below that's just for her. It says, find a place, make a mark. The ship is your memories as well as everyone else's.
Would I make another figurehead? I thought that I lost my faith, but now that I'm thinking about it, I kind of, it's still a part of me. It doesn't have to be the main figurehead, but I would like to carve out a statue of my goddess because they saved my life when I was a small child, neglected.
It says, don't ask
That
me,
would
ask
be
the
my
ship.
place. I just like to be on the top deck where when even if we are not at sea, I like to feel the wind, the kiss of the goddess on my face. So that would be my mark. That would be part of my soul affixed to the ship.
Yeah, he says, don't ask me, ask the ship.
Yeah.
It'll feel right. You'll know.
Yes. And he would go find a piece of driftwood and try to do that.
There's you wanted a spot sort of on the deck. There's a place sort of because this it's kind of like a riverboat, so it's literally got a roof. There's an area of the roof where it's mostly coiled rope, and it's sort of you can make a nest in there, so to speak. So you're out in the air, you can feel it, but you're protected from the elements by the tarred rope, right?
Yeah, that would be his place in the ship.
For now, we can always change it, but that gets you up there.
Thank you. That was a great scene. Thank you.
That was really cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's get back to the other two. Cassandra and Vanessa, you can sort of keep watch over the Exodus now as the ship empties.
Vanessa will return to her room to study course, but she won't use full course on the half of jar.
Okay, yeah. So you're going to go and do that. So that leaves Cassandra in charge of offloading. I think what I'd like to do at this point is sort of fast forward time. Everybody gets off the boat. They make a small overnight camp, but they're clearly heading out in the morning. They've got supplies on this side of the river. They give you a bunch because they're hyper confident in their ability to find more on the way. So you can stock up on all kinds of essential food supplies. Essentially, they've got lots of food and lots of axe heads. That's the things that they've got plenty of. But in the morning, you can tell as soon as the light comes up, they're going to be heading south. Whereas your
Anchor is asking for a couple accents, by the way.
Oh, okay, yep. So with that, I guess the question is, what do all of you do now? You rescued Steve and Tara. There's no reason to anything right at the moment. So instead of what do you do now, let's end tonight with what are your thoughts when you realize that how far off track you've gone. You were sent to get grapes and maybe some wheat, right, from the little tiny coastal village that's way back there. So you're kind of off track, but you found people where there wasn't supposed to be people. You found a whole sort of villages and interacting subcultures where there wasn't supposed to be people. And now suddenly there's no reason to do anything. Let's start with Ben. As you settle down into your nest on this, I like this. We're going to go down the boat. Start on the roof with Ben.
And he would
in the
whittle
oiled
away
robes.
a piece of driftwood to make like a holy figure, and
Yeah.
he would think to himself, I want to kill those fucking fake Vikings, and then he would remember the clothes that he had with his demon, and he would ask the demon in his head, firstly, what do I call you? Because they don't want me to call anybody Capitan or boss. Could I call you mate, sir? Or something like that? This is the first one. And the second thing, you told me that you didn't want me to aggressively attack my vengeance person, but those Vikings are assholes. So what exactly are the limits of our clause? Because I don't want to break my word to you.
Yep. So you're sitting on the dark now. It's full dark. Moon's up. See the whole
The
Milky
stars.
Way. It's beautiful, and you're laying there contemplating the death of every human being that you've just met. Essentially, the ones you haven't even met yet. A whole group of people, but the reaction you get is first of all, oh, you can call me first mate, I guess. And you feel
Okay.
a really snotty little salute in your
Because
head.
we are both on the ship of my body, so you are kind of mate of my flesh ship.
Yeah, your ship
Fits.
is kind of shit sometimes. But as for the second, I don't care what you do to the rest of them. You know the deal. That one can't be obvious. That one has to look like an accident, or he has to just disappear. That one can't be violent in public. I don't give a shit what you do to the rest of them.
Okay, I have an idea for the future to take this skull and make it in a soul lantern, because just dying isn't enough for the skull that ruined my life. I want his soul to tournament it for a long time. He deserves it.
I'm sure we can sign another deal. But before that, I gotta ask you a question.
Sure, mate.
And above the table, I'm not going to let Ben answer. This is where we're going to cut the end of Ben's scene. Is at
Okay.
the end of this question.
Thank you
Uh,
very much.
How are you going to get them to go there? As it occurs to you that there's no reason to continue upriver anymore. And that's where we're going to leave you. Anchor. I assume sort of now that everything, well, I don't assume nothing. The last of the people leave you. The
So-
gangplank is pulled back up. Yeah. What do you do?
So he's actually watching Cassandra because people have referred to her as captain.
Yeah.
Like, and it's only been a few hours since he left.
Yeah.
And like that's a major shift.
Yeah.
Especially for a ship that is like, agreeably like no captains, no kings. So I'm gonna kind of like defer until she's had a chance to talk about what she's up to.
That makes sense.
Because he's
Yeah.
gonna like pull her aside at some point and talk to her.
So yeah, you're you're making plans to have a chat with the captain. Okay, I love it. Let's go with Vanessa next. Did you go to your shrine?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
and I study books because I'm curious more what ingredients is this goes and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I'm not using all or the half of jar.
Yeah, you're being careful with it. As you start, your demon pipes up in your head and says, "So, what do we do next?" Actually, sorry, wrong voice. Yours is, "So, what do we do next?" Hmm?
Study this shit and then go to target because we are swimming towards first target.
Oh, we're almost there. You can smell it, can't you? I saw you today. That was impressive.
Hey, it was nothing special.
I'm just glad I'm in your head. It's pretty damn hard to shoot me in here.
Yeah, but still I feel like everybody else could do the same what I thought.
Oh, I don't think that's the case.
Why?
Well, they haven't got to me, do they? I
Yeah, maybe you're right.
mean, except that asshole Ben, but we need to talk about him at some other time. He's got a thing in him that I don't like either. Have you
Yeah,
noticed? We're pretty
I've
asocial normally. That bunch in the cave was creepy.
Yeah, also I felt like might have adopted your guide.
Oh, look at me changing the subject. Oh, I know. And I'm going to leave you with the same question and again, not give you the chance to answer it. How are you going to get everybody to go there? He taps the list. And that's where we'll leave Vanessa. Because I like circles. Which brings us to Cassandra. Everybody's off the ship. It's back to its normal crew and friends. You, in particular, I'm presuming just kind of by accident, you find yourself in one of the sort of captainy spaces, maybe on the bridge or in the office somewhere like that.
He's probably finished writing the letter recommendation and is telling one of the gems to go take it to the villagers right before the gangplank is brought in.
Oh, I love it. Because then they go, excuse me, and you look up and see the map on the wall that you have. And that's the moment where you realize there's no mission left right now. Excuse me, pardon me. What is Cassandra's thoughts in that moment? I'm actually going to put you in your library. I like that better. Put you back in your happy place to have this thought.
She's still thinking about the ship, like that fire is gonna go out eventually, or at least move out from the village. And if enough of the village has survived the flames, then there's food to be taken. So one last pillage before we turn around.
Sure, yeah.
Um, but at the same time, she's looking at the little map that came with the crosses and all of that,
Yep.
and looking at that longhouse and seeing all the trouble that those people represent to any future endeavors to take the land back. And she is stewing over that.
And at that point, your new book, your pointy book, goes on the table, trying to get your attention.
Yes, Pointy? She holds it up and asks again.
Oh, Oh, that's better. Holy cow, it's stuffy in there. Somebody once said about little tiny living space. Anyway, what's the plan?
Well, if the fields survive, we can accomplish our mission and get the food back to base. At least
But
that's what we should be doing. Those people upriver are going to be a problem. I can feel it. People like them. If you can't settle a trade agreement without violence, then that's no way to do business. It's stupid.
yeah,
Like they could have gone into nails or construction or something, not burning down half of the fucking island.
I love it because in my head I see Cassandra storming up and down the very limited hallway. I mean, it's a ship, right? But in your library, just storming up
This
and down
is-
the library.
The library's too small for pacing.
Yeah. Oh, that's and you just getting mad. I love it. And Pointy, that's
And then
you.
it would
Yeah.
probably eventually go into people making me captain. I didn't want to be captain. I'm not supposed to be captain. We're supposed to do everything together, but no, people keep jumping over the side, leaving me behind. Just like Uncle.
And there is a really grandfatherly pause, and the voice says, "I've never wished I had arms so much in my life."
She hugs the book.
And you get the magical feeling that you're being hugged back by Pointy. The book does not like it, but Pointy's like making a point. And he says, the book, as you put it, well, actually, as it against your chest, and you hear, because you squeezed it shut again.
Uh huh.
You put it back down.
Open
and
it back up.
And he says, "You know why they call you that, right?"
Because I'm the only one taking charge.
"'Cause you're the only one staying calm."
I don't feel calm. I don't know how I'm doing it.
"You want to know a secret that I only know 'cause I'm really old? From before I was
Yes,
a book, I
please.
mean.
Yes, please.
The secret to being brave isn't not being scared. If you're not scared, you're crazy. The secret to being brave is doing it in spite of being afraid. You do it anyway.
Do
For
it
those
scared.
people outside, for those people that are still on the boat,
I'm
you put
always doing it scared. I guess that's why I'm used to it.
well, there's a couple ways we can fix that. One is you don't need to be the captain anymore. But that's probably going to happen again because people sort of see you that way. The other option is to be a team captain.
I thought that's what we were doing before, but clearly not. If everybody just keeps leaving the ship, leaving me behind.
Well, what if the meaning of the word captain just gets changed a little bit? And now
How?
it means the person in charge of the well being of the ship. And nothing more.
I don't see how.
Well, you put Anchor in charge of the crew, and Ben's in charge of being weird. Maybe we'll work on that one. Vanessa's definitely head of security. And you're head of shipboard maintenance. Everybody's ahead of something. You guys are like a hydra.
This is something we're gonna have to all talk about, I think.
That's a really good idea. You know what else you're gonna have to talk about?
What?
Where you're going next. And that's where I'm going to drop the curtain on Cassandra. And therefore, I think I got everybody. Yep.
I thought
Well,
Anchor
I
wanted a
deferred
word with
mine.
Cassandra.
Oh yes, Anchor deferred, right? Because yeah, you went so yes, perfect timing. So after that, the book closes itself, boom, and there's a knock on the door, I guess, as Anchor.
Yeah, I think actually Anchor's been listening and he heard a lot of
Sure.
the frustration of him going over the side of the ship and how it made her feel.
Yeah.
And he has in his hands, like when he knocks, he has like a little like tricorn hat that has like the flag of the ship like kind of sewn on one side of it.
Yep.
And he looks at her, and he kind of just like quietly offers it to her. There's just sort of an understanding among pirates of like what hats mean.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
that they're just a sign of authority.
So you just sort of put it on the table between the two of you?
No, he's
Or is
offering it to
or
her
just
to
hand
like,
it- yeah,
take or
'cause-
not.
Yeah, because that's different. That's why I wanted to clarify. I wanted to see how direct you were being. So you actually take this hat. Okay, Cassandra?
She would just kind of stare at it for a little while and look up at him and say, I thought no captains, no kings. I didn't start calling myself captain to take power from everybody. It's just I was the only one giving the orders. I was the only one left to give the orders.
He just puts a hand on her shoulder that's kind of like I'm not upset. Does that make sense? There's like this
Yeah.
unspoken understanding. It says, you've heard me shout when all hands need to be pulling ropes to survive a storm. It says, you've seen Vanessa shout when we're assailed by something magical we don't understand.
I guess
Says-
Ben's too new to have done anything yet.
You
But-
saw him shout, but he was drunk.
I have the feeling it'll come to him one day. It says, this ship is a place to shepherd people where they need to go, but it's not a place for forever. Someday, the ship is going to be gone, and after, you're still going to be somebody who wants to sail the seas, and other people are going to look to you. It says this hat might not be for today, but someday you're going to wear it. Because you can see where we need to go, and that's all a captain is.
Cassandra, what do you do with the hat? How do you respond to
But,
that?
but it's kind of feel bad what she thought that she was jumping into action few times and she go to Cassandra because she feel bad, like guilty
Yeah,
to say sorry.
So we'll
Yes.
get you there we'll do that at the start of the next week.
Yes,
We'll have everybody else come in. I just want to finish off this little
Yeah.
reaction here and then Drop.
Could Ben, after that, could Ben have a quick word with Vanessa before we end?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, that we can do. Let's just do this quick one
Now
here, and then we'll
Cassandra, yep.
yeah. So Cassandra, what do you do with the hat, and how do you respond to Anchor's words?
I guess she sort of gingerly takes it in one hand because she's holding a book still with the other.
Mhm.
Like, she looks at the little flag and kind of rubs her thumb along the bottom edge of it, kind of remembering the day this wreck was brought back to the ship dock and this strange new person question mark along with it,
Yep.
and all the years that it took for the espoir to become seaworthy, and just everything that's happened since, and the new bonds, the losses, the going out and getting attacked by zombies and losing people and finding food and just everything. And she looks up at him and says, I guess if I'm going to start, I better do it sooner than later. And she puts the hat on.
He kind of tilts his head. He says, "Is it heavy?"
A little bit, yeah.
Says, "It should be."
She nods. But she tries to stand up a little bit straighter anyway.
And Anchor hugs her then.
Hugging. So much hugging.
Yeah, I love it. That was a beautiful moment because it's like I'm doing the job. I guess I got to wear the hat. Right?
Yeah.
It's that moment of I can't say no to this because damn it, I'm doing the job. Okay,
I
absolutely
also
stunning.
want short skirt. I also want short
Yep.
skirt.
Yep.
Vanessa, because she feels guilty of leaving Cassandra
Yep.
and jumping to action, she go to the library of Cassandra.
Okay.
And she say to Cassandra that because she feel awkward to talking about stuff emotion and alcoholism, steak and hugging, she will say that I know that maybe I acted bad by jumping into action and not thinking about you, but I feel like you are more capable to this job than me. I'm more into fighting, shooting, and less of brain work. And I'm sorry for just leaving you. And she will look at floor because she feel awkward.
It's okay, Vanessa. I get it. That's part of your role. You keep us safe by heading off danger before it can reach everyone else. And
Well,
as much as it frustrates me, I respect it too, which is part of why it's bugging me. It shouldn't, but it does. I just
well,
worry
what about what?
losing people. You remember my uncle, how he threw himself away to let the crew get away from his last attack, and I'm always scared it's going to happen again. It has happened again, but it hasn't happened to the people I really, really, really care about yet. And it's that yet that scares me. Every time you all just jump overboard, I wonder if you're going to come back. once I lose you guys, all I'm going to have are the books because nobody else understands the magic in these things like I do. And that I am aware that they can eat me right up. As much as I love them, I know I need to be careful, but I need people out here, out in reality, to maybe help me get back out if something goes wrong. And if I lose you guys, I'm not going to have that. And that scares me too.
You won't lose me, I promise. And if you will feel better, I can make a deal with this guy and shake my head to never be dying.
You don't need to go that far, but thank you. And she would offer an arm to join the three-way
Yep.
group hug.
The big hug. Perfect.
Vanessa will should hug even if she don't like hugging.
Yep. So meanwhile on the roof, I want to give everybody else got a little scene. Meanwhile on the roof, Ben, you had originally said you wanted a scene with Vanessa. We can wait for that, or do you want? Is there something else you can think of doing?
Maybe Ben was, because he's kind of part of the ship, so he would feel that something, because the ship is magic, he would feel that something, yes, that something is
The tattoo.
itching. So he would go to them and he would kind of hear parts of that conversation. And
Sure.
once again, he would knock on the ship's wood and he would say, Vanessa, I wanted to say something to you, and I think it would be good that Anchor and Cassandra would hear that as well. I respect both your ability and your mistrust in me. I lived on the streets, I lived in the church, so I get that you're keeping everybody safe, and I get that you are not here to make friends, you already have friends. And I respect you greatly, but I think that I just want a place to call home, like I lost my last ship. And I know that words won't prove anything, but I think we can work together to keep everybody safely. Also, the Vengeance of Vanessa is another cool name that you could use. I'm just
Vanessa.
floating it out there.
Vanessa we laughed, hearing the and we said, okay, and I thought you are not part of ship.
Yes. Thank you, because I just wanted to have that situation that Ben is trying to make connections.
Yep. So, do
But
you guys
it's-
invite Ben to the hug? There's no wrong answer. I just want to know.
No,
It's
Ben,
up
ben,
to-
ben wouldn't want to hug. He would just
I didn't
look
ask
at
that.
them and smile. He's not a huggy Philly person.
It will be up to Cassandra.
Oh, what the hell? Get in here.
There we go.
Okay, if I must.
There, that
Would
is a
be
better
Steve.
ending. I'm glad I said yes to all the mini scenes that were added onto the end of
Thank
that.
you.
Because the four-cornered hug, welcoming Ben to the crew, and that is where we will drop the curtain on tonight.
Thank you very much.
That was
Thank
a wonderful
you,
evening.
everybody.
Oh, that was so good. Thank you, first
And
of
thank
all,
you,
for
Kevin.
everybody's patience. We went long. We started a little late. At various points tonight, every single one of these players sat here and just listened for an extended period of time. So I appreciate all that. I saw it. I love it. Thank you for giving
It's a
us
pleasure
space to do
to-
everybody's stories.
But it's a joy to watch to be the audience during the game. I
Thank
love
you
it.
so much for thanking me for running this. Thank you very much to Siosa, to Brilchan, to Deku Lily, and to Janet. You guys are great players. I never know what to expect. I am always surprised. And I did not have crew building moment scheduled for tonight, but I never saw a better one. So thank you all for that. That was wonderful. Thank you to chat and everybody that's watching in the future, the VODs or the YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube, please hit the buttons and the bells and the things and leave a comment. We do like them. Unscheduled crew building has occurred. Yes. Thank you to everybody, though. That was absolutely amazing session. And I usually do this off stream, and frankly, I usually forget to do it. But not only did I remember it tonight, I'm going to do it on screen. Normally, an average round for us is about 3 experience points. Tonight was special beyond special, so I would like you to each take 5 experience points for tonight.
Ooh,
That
thank you.
was a massive movement. Every part of the story moved. Every character arced. It was stunning. So thank you all for
I
that.
I
We
wish
get
that
+1 for
I
failed
wish
rolls.
I wish that next week, since we arrive at target, will be Arc of Vanessa.
Oh, there's believe me, there's if you guys go see the Vikings, you've got a target there. Ben's got a target there. There are complications to both of those targets. So, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or because it's an open world, you could turn around, go back down the river, and go home with your grapefruits, watermelons, and fresh wheat. It is entirely up to you.
Nope.
But I got an idea which way you're going to go. But thank you all so much. And until next time, please take all the spare energy that you've got. Be nice to each other. Be kind to each other. Do nice things. Do nice gestures. Because there's not enough of it. But Spike
And be
Milligan
nice
told a
to
wonderful.
yourself.
That too. I'm not going to do the whole poem because I don't remember it. But Spike Milligan wrote a whole poem about the contagiousness of a smile. So if you can smile at somebody and make somebody smile, and that smile makes somebody else smile, and that smile makes somebody else smile, we can make the whole damn world smile. So until next time, please be nice to each other. Good night.
Bye.
Right.
Good night.